My 4-month-old was not gaining weight, so the hospital called CPS on us. Hey guys, I'm Shay. Welcome back to my story time. This is an actual true story that happened to me when we were living in Memphis. So let's get started. Let's go back to January 2019. This is 4 months after my daughter Everly was born. So with any new parent, you know that every few months you take your child to go to their wellness checkup because that's what they do with babies to see if they're gaining weight, to see if they're going up in their percentile, and so on and so on. So we have been going to this new clinic for about 4 months since she was born. So I've been going to this new facility since we switched states and have been going since I was pregnant. About the third or fourth visit, we come to the realization that my daughter's not gaining weight. Like, she eats all the time, but then she also has, like, projectile vomits, like everything she just ate. So it was hard to, like, feed her and keep something down. Every time she would eat, she would be really gassy, fussy, and really bad reflux. Well, come that fourth visit was something crazy. So we had the visit, talked to the doctor about how she is not gaining weight at all. And I even suggest that we change her formula. I told him that I do not think that her formula is working for her. I think it's causing her to have really bad reflux, that she's spitting it up. I asked him repeatedly, can we please change her formula? His response was, no, we don't need to change her formula right now. Let's just see what happens and go from there. Odd, because I'm the parent and I think I know what's working and what's not working for her. And then we finished with the initial visit, and then at the end of the visit, he said that he has informed me that he has contacted CPS. I'm just looking at him like, what are you talking about? Why? Like, why are you calling CPS? What's the problem? He said, oh, well, ma'am, your child is not gaining weight, and we think they need to look into this further for medical negligence. I'm like, sir, medical negligence? I'm literally telling you she is not doing well on her formula, and you're telling me we can't change her formula. So how is that my problem when you won't do anything to fix the problem? I wasn't having it. I said, you can call him if you want. We took off and left because I'm not having that. I don't care what kind of facility it is. They're not talking to me. They're not talking at me. I have done nothing wrong. I have shown up to every single doctor visit, have told them every single problem. Like, it's not even my issue at this point. It's theirs. Before we left the visit, they did refer us to go to Le Bonheur Children's in Memphis because they were the only, like, facility around that helped with kids. They were a big known facility. So my best bet was I'm going to take her there. Well, we arrived and we got checked in, and then next thing you know, they are admitting her into the hospital. She looked so skinny and so scrawny, and she looked hungry, but she couldn't keep anything down, and I kept repeating myself over and over again what was going on with her. So they had her hooked up to IVs, and they were giving her, fluids because she looked dehydrated and was hungry and everything. Eventually, I had to call her dad and tell her, hey, they're admitting her in the hospital. He's at work and he's freaking out over the phone. And I'm like, well, I can't do anything but, stay here with her, find out what's going on. The first time she was admitted for like 2-3 weeks, and they would feed her, and then they would burp her, and they'd write the times down and everything like that. I could only stay a few days and come back after school because my oldest daughter was moved down there at that point, and I had to take her to school every morning and pick her up. But Everly would have to stay in the hospital. So after a few weeks, they thought, okay, she's gaining a little bit of weight, so we are going to send her home with me, and that's what they did. Well, eventually CPS showed up and came to the house. They wanted to see her room, they wanted to see how we live, where we sleep her at, and everything like that. They conducted the investigation, found absolutely nothing, because there was nothing that I did wrong. So eventually they closed the case. A few weeks later, we go back to a new facility and find out that she's not gaining weight again. As if it couldn't get any more ridiculous. One of the doctors tried to tell me that we were neglecting her again. But what they failed to realize is that we are feeding her formula, the powder that you mix at home with a can, and in the hospital, they are feeding her pre-made formula already mixed together. There is a difference there, and I've told them this. Like, they're not even listening to me at this point. Le Bonheur was even worse than the last hospital. They had the wrong child's medical chart on her medical crib. It said Evelyn something something. Didn't even have the same last name as my daughter, whose name is Everly. I even pointed it out to a nurse, like, whose chart is this? Are they going by this, like, to give her medical, like, doses of medicine? And then I found a pair of scissors inside of her crib. Just a whole lot of bunch of crazy. Well, after all these nurses and everything get done, they finally bring a real doctor in. Finally. And what do we find out by this real doctor? Well, for one, she was tongue-tied. She could not latch onto a bottle properly because it just wouldn't work with her tongue. She wasn't latching. She wasn't sucking correctly, causing her not to eat very much. And on top of that, she had a milk allergy. She was basically allergic to the formula. She wasn't eating very much, and what she did eat would go down, and she would just projectile vomit. Throw it all up, not get, like, maybe but an ounce of what she ate. And I told them that we have tried to change her formula. Like, it's documented that I asked to change the formula, but they would not change her formula. They were quick to let us out of there. Like, after we switched her formula, which we eventually had to get on Nutramigen, she started gaining weight. She stayed with the weight, and those doctors are just morons. And she has done well ever since. Not to mention, I just, survived with her after having a car wreck when she was in my stomach at 16 weeks pregnant. So I think this tops that. Don't ever let doctors and people like CPS try to tell you that it's your fault when it's not. Like, they can get mad all they want, because I know in my heart what's real and what's not, and what we have done. I tried to feed her as much as she could eat. I have burped her. Like, I've done everything I'm supposed to do as a parent, and I haven't done nothing wrong. I was just happy that they changed her formula into something she can eat, because who would want to eat something you're allergic to anyway? She has now surpassed all her percentile growth charts, and she's gaining weight. She's eating everything now. Loves milk. Like, I'm just so happy as her parent. I just thought I would share my experience with you guys because, just because it's a huge, like, well-known hospital, I should say, doesn't mean nothing, because we didn't do anything wrong, but they were trying to make it seem otherwise. So I'm going to end it there. Thank you guys for listening, and if you haven't yet, please give me a follow, because I have so many story times to tell you that it's unreal. Love you guys. See you in the next video.